A new study shows we can add 10 more years to life if we eat more legumes, whole grains, nuts, and less red and processed meats. No, Dr. Salim Sarwani joins us live to discuss. Dr. Sarwani, good morning to you. Thank you so much for being with us again. Why is it so important to follow a diet? Give us some advantages, other than the fact that I'm going to miss my red meat. Give us some more advantages.
Good morning, Barbie. Glad to be here. We all know that, our body is what we eat. It's a healthy body, healthy mind. And the diet is very important because it is responsible for almost 11 million deaths, as well as 255 million people who can have some morbidity, just like heart disease and diabetes and stroke. And a lot of those other chronic diseases are because of what we eat. So if we eat healthy and if we start eating to eat very healthy early in the life, it's important. The study from Australia shows that if you have a grain, legume, and nuts in our diet more, and if we cut down on the red meat and the meat item, we can actually increase our life almost 10 years. For women, and for men, it can be even 13 years. So if you start early, the key thing is if you start early, that is the main thing. The earlier you start, the more advantages you get over the long run. And again, the question is what type of diet you want to eat. You have to create a behavioral changes, because you can't go into a diet, something you do a crash diet, you lose a little weight, and then we all know that when we stop and it gets a rebound and our weight goes even higher. So we need to find some lifestyle changes where we incorporate those grains and legumes and nut in our diet, and we need to cut down significantly on our red meat and processed meats.
Dr. Sarwani, I know that you mentioned the earlier you start, the better, but for those that are older, it's never too late to begin, correct? You can still start eating?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So you get a maximum advantage when you start at the age of 20, but even when you start at the age of 50 or even 60, you still get 4 to 5 years extra in your life. And then they come up with a very nice calculator. It's called the healthy, let me see what is, it's one of the thing, it's called Food for Healthy Life Calculator. So it's a food and the number 4 healthy life calculator. So if you go into that foodforhealthy.org, you can actually put it in your age, and you can say how much increase in the grain and legume it did, how much decrease in your meat, and it will actually give you a life prediction that how many years you gain it. So it's like a real thing that you go in a weighing scale and it tells you like how you're doing. So that's a good check which people can use it and customize and tailor it depending on that. So if you don't want to cut it a lot, you want to cut it a little, it will give you how much life expectancy you can gain out of it.
That's a good idea. I think I'm going to do that, even though it sounds a little scary. I think maybe I need to scare myself to eating healthier. Thank you so much, Dr. Sarwani, for all of your time, as always. And if you have a question for Dr. Sarwani, the number is on your screen. You can text your question to the number. That's 361-855-6397.